Hello all. For this video I want to cover my Darwinex that I've been running, and I want the video to be don't do a me on Darwinex. Look, most people would have probably chucked the towel in around this point. On my FX book I have my Darwinex, and as you can see it's not pretty one bit. I think most would have chucked the towel in around here, but I've persevered with this, rightly or wrongly, and I wanted to prove to myself I could probably get out of a pickle and take some lessons from my choices that I made, because it's too easy to chuck the towel in at times and just say, you know what, we reset it or we start again. In real world trading with your own capital, you can't do that. So I was determined to stick with this and see it through. Now back above the account balance that I started with, and you can see from the curve on the MyFX book chart that I started getting to grips with this again at around September time. It started well for me. I was all the way up 6-7 cents, but the trouble was I was in a pound CHF move that was starting to see higher DDs than it had in testing, and Darwinex can lead you into a bit of a false sense of security because you're starting with a 100k account and you're basically not tied into any rules like conventional prop firms. So when I started developing sets for this, I was just seeing what the highest drawdown was that we'd seen, and then thinking, you know what, that'll be brilliant for Darwinex. I'll apply that to that. I'm fine to see, you know, drawdowns of 2, 3, 4, 5%, whatever, you know. We'll roll with it, and didn't run any equity protection or anything. And this resulted in a pound CHF just going to higher and higher and higher drawdowns. I think I'd seen like 3k in testing, and using on the markets myself on demo first, and then we've gone all the way to minus 18%. It did reverse, but unfortunately when it closed out it pulled me down so much because of swap fees. The swap fees were massive and I was in the sequence for ages, so I should have learned at this point not to run anything without an equity protection. And then I did start running things with equity protection, but I went off on maybe the wrong strategies around here. I definitely was down on using wrong strategies, keeping the EPs tight but not using the correct ones. And then out of a little bit of desperation trying to get myself back into this territory of 6-7%, I started using inverse on banker. Now inverse is a absolute beast in itself, and I should have tested the strategies first. I didn't. I went off, just put them straight on my Darwinex, and these were running to equity points, and I was hitting loss after loss after loss. And inverse is a dark art in trading, and certainly one that I've not really ever had any success with myself personally. Members have within our community, and at that point I switched off and I thought I need to have a complete rethink with this, and I went back to my favourite pair, AU, and I combined that with a UJ strategy as well, and then started taking it serious from September, and that's when we started to see the better results. And this is the results from that time in isolation, and as you can see, from 653 trades, there's the stats. That's my monthly rate that I've managed to achieve when I started taking this a lot more seriously. And I was running an AU and UJ sets to quite wide equity points, but I knew I had to go a little bit with the risk to get myself back into that territory of being back into profit. Now that I've achieved that, I've opted to run some set files that I've had in the market. It's been running a little bit on demos, things like that. Myself, for a few weeks I've decided to run them now, and the last few trades are those set files. So what I've gone for now is a AUD USD working to 1000 EP, a UJ set working to 1000 EP, a gold set working to 1000 EP, and a Euro AUD set which I'm working to 400 EP, all in isolation, that is. It's not an overall equity. I'm running individual EP points per set file. The reason I went a little bit lower on Euro AUD is that I found this set file just out of intriguement of looking at other pairs, and I've never actually traded this pair myself live, so I've gone for a little less of an EP. Here's the set files in question on set compare in Power Portfolio Builder. Like I said, I've been running them a little bit on demos, now on Darwin, and the last week they've been on my Darwin. July you would have seen $6,000, August 5,700, September 7,000, October 5,000. So far in November with these sets, 4,700. Obviously this is based on backtest data and the data of me using it in the markets the last few weeks. Show the graph. The set files I've had hits. I've had hits here of 1,000 on the AU one, but I'm comfortable with that. Since then, the set file has been progressing well. Same with the gold, seen one hit there. But all in all, these sets, had you been using them since 1st of July to the 15th of November, you would have seen 25k of profit, and there's been more profit from these set files this week. And that's what I'll be using now going forward. Quick flick on Darwin, it looks horrendous. Still not got allocation. Got a lot of work to do to still get this back and running, but it's been very rewarding to get myself out of this mess, and it can happen to all of us. We all can get in a mess. And the lesson learned here is do not be running strategies without equity points, thinking that you've got the margin and you've got the capital to do it, and hey yo, it'll reverse at some point. It doesn't always reverse as quick as you think it will. It don't always come back to your wanting on the market as quick as it does, and you can end up with such horrendous swap fees, which is what's triggered this off being a poor run for me on this account. So back on the right track now. Let's see what we can do, and I'll keep you updated on this one.